All right, so I'll carry on to public sector accounting and finance for November 2024 exams. Every sitting question drop in here. And then we are good to go. Today, first, we look at the structure. The structure for public sector, I will tell you the issues that will pop up. They may swap the question numbers because I've seen two different structure for IC. So you don't need to worry at all. So let's quickly go through them and then we are good to go. Just some few points down. First section, how to do with are 5 areas which amount to 5 questions. Look for them in this material and just solve. That is all. So public sector areas. First one is the conceptual framework. Conceptual framework together with the public financial management. It should be 15 marks. PFM, public financial management. You should draw for 5 marks. That's all. One full question making 20 marks. That is all. Now, to be specific, I'll show you where all of them are. Find them. Please, this trip, the examiner is likely to swap question numbers and change it. Maybe after next thing going, we'll be sure. I think during the section ICA date, the structure was used. We have also seen somewhere a structure slightly different from that. So here, don't really worry too much about it. What matters is that I've seen this topic in exams and I've been able to do it. That's all. All questions are compulsory. So question numbers becomes irrelevant when all questions are what? Compulsory. Now let's go to the material and let me show you where you should start reading as soon as possible. It's my question 1. So in my material, I've arranged it in my question 1. I have 2 question 1s. So the question 1, I don't know where you pass. I don't know where you have to pass for you to understand this. So that is that. This is 10 marks. Then they will add small area to it. Good. And then this one to do add it to it, they have what you call 20 marks. That's all. So that you get something in this neighborhood. Or my second question 1 is also here. This is a PFM. that is where they ask you the internal details function, something small for 5 marks. This question has dropped, I think twice or so. Yeah, so 2 times. So you can decide to jump. It has dropped twice, 2 times. It's theory, right, for us to pass you. Don't on your calculator. Then this one is the qualitative characteristics of financial statements. I'm born in time rough. The quality of a financial statement. That's all. Then the limitations of general purpose financial statement. Oh, this one is supposed to relate it to. This one is not part. Don't learn this. It has dropped already. Dito, last 2 sittings. Word by word, figure by figure. It's the top one that it has not dropped that I'm waiting patiently. So just the 2 limitations of general purpose financial statement, you are good to go. These are the issues you have to treat for us. That's all. I'm done with your question 1. If you have any question, ask. So I go over. Once you go through what you've done, you are good to go. It's secure for your question 1. And then there was some practical measurement basis. A day before, people will come and do it. There are some questions if you reserve them a day before the paper. So I'm done with your first question, 20 marks. You pick the material, you go through. Second question. That is question 2. In my material, I call it question 2. It's about preparation of financial statements of our public sector. Final account, public sector financial statement. This trip, the question is so clear. Here, final account of a public sector. It's only here that we can tell you specific that is on this particular section. And you go and meet it there. I count my last 3 sittings, I release a question and I release cash flow. The went cash flow was the dito. At time 2, I released a particular note. It was also came. Vehicle donation. Remember, there was a footnote called vehicle donation. It also came. This sitting, I have included one particular footnote. It's inside your thing. It will come. That footnote there. It will be there. I'll show you that footnote. Now, your question is highly centered on local government. This trip question is on local government. So first, you get a question on either MMDA, metropolitans, municipal, district, and what? Assembles. I think I've discussed 1 question with you. So tonight, I think that's the area that I'll solve a full question. The rest is the reading. If you go on our portal, all the questions, the solutions are on the portal. Yes. Now, if you go local governance is not there, you see a public tertiary education or public hospital. You see, municipal normally goes with the hospital. They have the same You see, these people have similar financial statements. Let me put it here. Public hospitals. All these, they have the same, their revenue line is the same, expenditure line is everything the same. MDAs have IGF, they also have IGF, this also have IGF. GOG transfer, all of them have GOG transfer. Grant, all of them have grants. Donation, they don't deal with taxes, so they don't have tax. All of them have fine, penalty. So they are in the same neighborhood. So even if I've solved MMDA with you and you go there's a public hospital, you should apply the same principle, you don't change it. That is where your question is centered on. One of this is on your question. So if you check your material, I've given you public hospital and local government. So what you have to do is that there's a question called Denke Educational Institute, Denke. After solving these two questions, go and look through that one. That's all. Don't solve any question again. You should be fine. Because they've done all, like the cycle has ended. We have central government. It came last sitting. We have ministry, department, and it came last two sittings. Then the next one should be MMD. It hasn't come yet. And that is your turn. So that is why the vim is so high. So I'm done. Which question is there for you? That's my question too. On your exam sheet, the question number may change because this is a new cycle. This is a new ICA new syllabus. So the arrangement of the question will change, but the facts remain the same. The storyline hasn't changed. So I first gave you a public hospital. First, I gave you a public hospital. Kolungo Municipal Hospital is a public hospital established in the Upper East region. So go through it and sure that you can be able to answer them. Then there's some theory here that my bonnet time I chair off. This one, I don't know where you pass to understand. Pass to understand. State for condition for which revenue from sale of goods shall be what? The conditions are 5. The action only 4. Don't forget, we say the amount, the cost. Amount, cost, probable. Service potential. Then risk and reward. No managerial involvement or control. Good. These are the answers we just mentioned. And then this question too, my body time I chair off. I never give up. I never give up on this question. I think this trip is due. Then the second question is on citizen transport. Let me also add this one to it. Citizen transport. That's the GB.
Please, can I interrupt? The previous question we were talking about, you were fast. What was it? Just before you came here.
This one. State and explain for condition for recording revenue from sale of goods, revenue from exchange, transaction or sale of goods. Then also talking about this. The accounting policies that usually accompanies financial statements. According to EPSA 3. So I've really timed that particular question. My bonnet time is what happened was that any question that I put my eye on less than 3 sittings, then examiner will do it. So this is the third sitting. So definitely it's due. EBSTA 3 is due for exams. Now, I wanted to explain GB. What's the meaning of GB?
Government business enterprise.
Good. Government business enterprise. Now, GB, they operate on their own. Right? They sell revenue. So what happened is that their account is also similar. Because they're also a public sector, it takes the public sector format to prepare, even though they are GB. So they also have IGF. They also sometimes they can have GOG transfer, but they don't live on GOG transfer. Unlike the district assignment where for them they live on GOG transfer or assemblies receive some subventions from central government. But with the GB, it's not like that. Government business center. So all this they're in the same neighborhood. Then one category. So don't say that targets. I must solve public. I must know everything about this, everything about this, everything about no. They have the same structure, but different names to just confuse students in the examination room. So thank God I've given you enough question to practice. So Citizen Transport Corporation, give me examples of GB, Ghana Business Enterprise. Give me examples. Now you know that when you see this question, yeah, this one is a GB. All the companies, all the public sector institutions that ended with the word corporation. If you know any
GBC.
public sector that end with the word corporation, so mention them.
GBC.
GBC, good. Government. Is it government? Ghana what? Broadcasting.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Corporation. Anything that come with a word what? It's a GBE. Agreed. Do you agree or you don't agree?
Yes, please.
STC. Is it GBE? State Transport Corporation.
Yeah.
What about State Housing Corporation? All these are what? GB. So take notice. They are not far from my bonnet time at Chelsea because so far it has dropped only once. They have dropped 2 hospitals. They've dropped 1 GB. So why can't they start with GB for me? And always, every new syllabus, we start with local governance. That is why I am of high vim. Then NIB. NIB. What is NIB? National Investment Bank. It's also a GB. Graphic Corporation. It's also a GB. Is it GAPOA? No, GAPOA is not a GB. GAPOA, GRA, all the authorities, they are on their own. They are not GB. They don't also feed solely from the console. So take notice of them. And you are good to go. I'm done. So if you have any question, kindly ask. Their trial balance is also the same. Pastor,
Sir,
yes, please.
please, the question 1. The last question, there was one last question before you came to question 2, which is this.
Yes.
You didn't touch on it.
Which one?
Yes.
Let me go there.
Please scroll up. Yes. No, like before the question 2.
This one.
Yes, this one. F.
Explain 5 basic information that an institution preparing consolidated financial statement need to disclose. Oh, this one. It has dropped. Let me see. Yeah, it has dropped before. It's also known as the notes, the disclosure requirement. It has dropped before. Yeah. So here they are talking about an accounting policies, 2, evaluation of assets, 3, whether accrual basis or cash basis, 5, and note on IPSA that the financial statement is being prepared using IPSA. Number 3, useful life of the assets, depreciation basis. These are the 5 information you must disclose. So take notice of them. That one and then the IPSA 3, they really confuses. So I'm done with this. To get these questions, it is not an easy job. It took more than 6 to 8 solid hours to lock in a single room to be able to write. All right, so GB have the same as what? So they also have seminars, non-established posts. Of course, they will have. So the same format now. Don't go and say that I've seen GB, so let me go and use different format. We'll mark you down. We'll forgive you. And there's something I want you to know. They will do a spare part inventory. This is an open inventory. Closing inventory will be in the photo. The same tribal and there'll be purchases inside. If you go up, there'll be purchases. You are. Purchase of what? Spare parts. Here's it. And then this open inventory. So you add open inventory to the purchases less what? Closing inventory. Please, this spare part, is it for sale or is for use? Is a spare part for sale or use? Citizen
For use.
Transport Corporation.
For use.
And once it's for use, what will be the measurement basis? Lower of what?
Cost and the replacement cost.
Cost and replacement cost. That's all. No matter what, it's part of your note. Either note 4 or note 2. Note 4 or note 2, you move back on. So take notice of that. Try as much as possible to understand this question soon. Look at it. It says inventories included in the use of goods and services. At the end of the period, spare parts, historical cost, replacement cost, and now which one you choose?
Replacement cost.
Why?
Because the goods are not going to be sold. They are going to be used by the entity. Yes.
Okay, so let me test your understanding small. Are you there?
Yes, please.
Let me run a small test right now. A small test. Yes. There's a question I see released. That question, when you are here, when you are from here, go and solve that question, I beg you. We call it Denke. Private, is a university question, so university. Let me type university. Oh, that is not coming up. It will come, don't worry. I think it should be this one. Good. Now this one, answer it for me. I'm going to go there. Oh, this one's not going. I supposed to use the it has come. Oh. All right, so this is a university. I love this question well. Note number 6, start work. You only have 2 minutes. Let me separate note 6 for you to see it clear. There are 2 different kinds of inventory here. Inventory of textbooks. Good, so I've done it this way for you. You only have 2 minutes to submit your answer. Let me work on the materials for you, how I want it to be. I beg you. If you meet this inventory stuff, I know that when I write in PSA, Thursday, I know for sure that Thursday you do it. So this is how we want it. Do a separate workings and call it, you can say cost of textbook. Bring the open inventory from the trial balance. So much from the trial balance.
35,000.
Come again. It is what?
The cost. The cost for the
35,550.
35,550.
That's the one on the trial balance, right?
Yeah, for textbooks.
Yes.
For textbook, good.
Yeah.
You add purchases of textbook.
152,740.
152,740.
Then you say less what? Closing.
Closing inventory.
What's the closing inventory of textbook?
142,500.
142,500.
45,790. 5,790.
5,790.
Then this one goes to goods and what? Service. This one goes to the financial position as inventory and the current assets. That's all. The same thing applies to stationery. You also say cost of stationery. You start with your balance brought down. What's the open inventory?
98,290.
98,290.
290.
You add your purchase. What's the purchase figure?
261,000.
261,000. Like this.
Yeah.
Last closing stock. Closing stock is what?
17,000.
17,000.
Mm-hmm.
342,290.
3
No,
342,290.
342.
Hello.
290. 290.
So that's then you take this one to goods and services representing cost of what? Consumables. I say consumables, stationery. That's all. That note in the on Thursday, you do it too.
Sir, please, where would the proceeds go to? Proceeds from sale of textbook.
Yes, proceeds from sale of textbook goes to IGF. It's a revenue, not a cost,
Okay.
not expense.
Okay, sir.
This one is the cost of the textbook they have sold or cost of textbook they have used.
Okay, sir.
Good.
Thank you.
So right after you solve this question, finish your answer with me.
Sir, please switch here.
Denke. It should be
I've solved it too, but I've forgotten the year. Where is it from?
December 2022. 2022. Last. Okay, so December and November in the same category. Okay, I understand. All right, so I'm done with your final account questions. So I've done 2 questions here. What you have to do and go through. I'll go through all your 5 questions with you. 5 questions, answer all. If you are very new to our exams, my humble advice is that practice standard question and the standard time. You might not be able to finish. So work on the timing first before we sit for the paper. But mostly first attempt, the timing is what we'll use. Until you become maybe a serial writer, you will know how to adjust the time well. That's how I see it. You see, if you go to circle and you are a stranger, they know that you're a stranger. They will just follow you in one corner. They give you the soup. But if they notice that you are from a shaman, they will know. They will never come close to you. Because if they make a mistake, rather it's their own that will go. So examiner knows students. So let me go to my 3rd question. My 3rd question for you. The areas are simple. It's A and B. 10 marks, 10 marks. Because something public expenditure survey. Because something public expenditure and financial administration. Or accountability. That's the PIFA. That's one question. My body tell me I choose her. And if I show him that this thing is there, value for money. My boy question every time I tell rough, but so go to your question 3. Value for money. What are the 4 measures of value for money? Or 4 mechanisms? What is value for money itself? Any activity or any amount the public sector entity spends, they must get a value for it. So if you spend 1 cedi, you should get a value of what? 1 cedi. But some will spend 10 cedi and get a value of 50 pesos. That means value for money has not been what? Yes. Achieved. So here, what are the 4 mechanisms? You have 4 E's. Not 3 E's. So we've added 1 to the 3, making 4. Know the 4 E's. Number 1 is what? Economy. Number 2 is what?
Efficiency.
Okay, so number 1 has to do with what? Economy. Number 2, efficiency. Number 3,
Effectiveness.
what about number 4?
Economy, no, you've said it already. Equity, okay.
Equity or fairness. Now, they can ask you to make it 5. Accountability and transparency, that one is, they are also part of it. But they don't have, say, EE. Now, what is economy? When you say economy? Economy. Getting the resources at the least price without compromising quality. Without compromising quality. Getting the resources at the least price.
So, do you know, I was thinking that this particular question was under procurement.
No.
Oh,
Value for
okay.
money is under PIFA, is under expenditure control.
Oh, okay.
Expenditure that if you get, whatever you spend, there should be a value for it. So you can't tell us that you have spent 53 million to feed some people for 1 week and 53 million. So we have to achieve a value of what? 53 million. So good. Then efficiency.
Hey, light off. Intimidation. Hey, coffee. And I'm going to learn that so.
You are lucky.
I just have for.
You are even fortunate that they've off it on Friday for you. What did you off Sunday night or Saturday?
Hey, you're doing the Sunday night. I just say me soon.
Oh, be prepared because there's a
Copy candle ne touch into Sunday night. Mum, I just say me copy candle.
buy a rechargeable torchlight. Yeah.
Hey.
Candle, you may end up burning your house because of All right, so that is that. Efficiency is the rate at which the input is being used. It measures the relationship that exists between the input and output. Efficiency is using smaller resources to achieve the same budgeted results. This ICA that people are writing. Yes, some people have gone to class 4 months They have gone for intervention 1 week. As I'm not talking to you on leave for about 2 weeks, they have not gone to work. They have denied their family. Yeah. Even church, because they don't go to some because of ICA. They will write the exams. Somebody too. Only the last 3 days. He had the full day for himself to prepare for the exams. This will happen. If all of them pass, who is more efficient?
Sir, please, the last 3 days.
The one who is the last 3 days. But what if the one who is 4 months has the exam, but the one who is 3 days fail? Who is efficient here?
Sir, none of them.
It's the first one. This guy is efficient. Do you know why? He has been able to achieve the budgeted results. But this guy used a lesser resources and he did not achieve the budgeted results. So efficiency exists when you use a smaller resources to achieve the same budgeted results. What somebody used 10 days to do, you have used 1 day to do it. Not that you have used 1 day, but you couldn't do it too. If you used 1 day, you could not do it. Have you seen when the singer-ton, cooker-ton, washer-ton, dancer-ton, buffer-ton, eater-ton, and Tigo also brought the cash-a-ton or so whatever. Some banks also brought cash-a-ton. Have you seen now they are fed up. Nobody is doing it again. They are fed up. Some guy be said that he will stand for, I think, 24 hours or 6 days. That then he could not. Yeah, say he will stand. He will stand there. So he could not achieve the budgetary results. So hence, it's not efficient. So efficient come in when the budgetary results. Yeah, the output, the outcome, the output of it. Then effectiveness. What is effectiveness? Who can explain effectiveness for me? Usually people confuse effectiveness with efficiency. Who can clearly distinguish efficiency from effectiveness for me? Clearly. Clearly, what's the difference? All right, so I'll send it. Please, who can tell me the difference between efficiency and effectiveness? Because that one, the reason why we always ask this question is because of that one. The reason why we ask you value for money is because of efficiency and effectiveness. Those two. We have seen situations where people were defining efficiency, then they end up defining effectiveness. And they were defining effectiveness, they end up defining efficiency. Who can try for us? We beg.
And quality. Fair.
Yes, please.
So effectiveness in a sense we talk about the quality of your output, how high in value it is, and then efficiency will talk about the how you are able to achieve that result using the minimum resources and then time on that particular activity, yet achieving it within the stipulated time.
Okay, I'll take that. You nearly give us nearly. Yes. Any other? It did very well. It's excellent. But still want something. There's a word we want to see. I did not hear that word in your definition. Only single word want to hear. We did not see it in the definition, especially in effectiveness. Effectiveness deal with the objective. The rate at which the objective is achieved. So ability to achieve the aim, the purpose, the goal is what? Is the effectiveness. Whilst efficiency is the rate at which you use the inputs, the resources. Then economy is the getting least the input at their least cost without compromising what? Quality. So this one has to do with the objective of the situation. Why are you writing exams? What's the objective? Is to qualify, right? Some people upon, I have a mate that we started. Our first trip, she had 50 in one of the papers. The parents said 50 mark is too small, so you should come and write the paper again. I don't know. Some parents can be so troublesome.
Don't know
I see the pass mark is 50, and your child have gotten 50. You say 50 is too small, so the person should come and write it again. The person wrote today. The person have not qualified. If the person could have continued, could have get a momentum at least. So the objective is the aim, that's the effectiveness. Whilst the time, the resources you use is the efficiency. What about equity? Equity has to do with the fairness. Whether what you are doing it's fair. It really makes sense. Let me give a practical example. You see, go to rural area, where the water that human beings drinks is the same water that all animals in the community also drink, plus all the fishes in that river also drink the same water. So 3 people drink the same water. All the animal in the communities, all the human beings, and the fish. It's the same water they used to farm around. Then government will sit down and say that I am going to build a gymming center for parliamentarians. Or I'm going to do, let's say, dictator. I'm going to do dictator, please. I'm not doing politics here. I'm trying to tell you that there was some important thing, an attempt to do something. Don't you think it will be a disadvantage to someone else? JJ one day says something that the waters that we use to flush our toilets in the urban city is more cleaner than the water that the rural people drink. And it's right, because we use treated water to flush the water in urban city. But you don't get treated water to drink in a rural area. So when you gather money to go and do a project that will not be beneficial to these rural people, then we say that equity has not been achieved. It is not fair. You are not fair to other people. You see, an attempt to construct a practical example is the National Cathedral. I'm not against it, please. I'm only using for example. Where other people don't get access to medical care, but Accra have gotten it to the extent that we are even having extra. Look at Accra Road. There's a time all Accra Road is asphalt already. They put another asphalt on it again. Where certain village, they use ordinary, what's the name, coconut tree to put on a river to serve as what? As a bridge. And when that bridge go broken, nobody can go to the village. If you are sick, they have to keep you there. And you die there, you go and bury you. And at the end of the day, we say, Accra, we are doing art parts. Accra, we are doing this. We are constructing that. We are doing this. It's like we have gotten the excess over here. So in that case, equity has not been achieved. That's the fairness we are talking about. It's not too fair. Because other people are suffering whilst other people are doing what? Enjoying, smiling. Yes, so that is equity. I'm done. So try and then understand it for us. That's the value for money. So then you may also be asked, this question, for management account me. Identify four procedures each necessary for effective management of public expenditure and revenue. My book question with time in dread. I feel how the Batman accounting mama me. Rough. So expenditure control. That's all. Budget is number one. If you want to control, budget is number one. Report is number two. And then the rest. All right, then PIFA. You should know everything about PIFA. PIFA came with the control, yes. Objective of PIFA. Component of internal control by PIFA. And then that's all. The objective, the important, the usage, it has came recently. So I've intentionally deleted it from my questions, and that's all. Then the B.
A gigantic diamond, a mountain of unknown elements from the
Then the B part has to do with, you see, I said that there are two. The B is interpretation of financial statement.
Yeah.
It's 10 marks. So I don't know where you have to pass to understand how to prepare common size, both performance and position. Then normal ratios. Last thing they had a budget statement. I don't think they'll get budget, you get budget again. So now your question is between common size and normal ratios. So try as much as possible to revise them. And then we are good to go. I'm done with your third question. If you have any question on this, ask before I go to fourth and fifth. So now PSA is gradually becoming a very good subject to pass. Thank God they've taken procurement. Procurement, not that they've taken it out, let me be very honest with you. Procurement is still in public sector, but now it is not on its own. So don't say procurement is not part of our ICA syllabus, please. And PPP, they are not on their own. They are under, now they are under someone. Previously, they are on their own. The two, they are question 4. But now they are no longer on their own. So you go and you don't even see them. Once a while, they use them to set a question. That is how the new syllabus have captured procurement and PPP. If you have any question on this, PIFA, value for money, expenditure control, and then normally they like asking this question, PEF or PES, public expenditure survey. Can I move on to the fourth question? Can I move on to the fourth question?
Yes, sir.
Fourth question. AKA IPSAS. Full yaya. IPSAS. They will drop a lot of IPSAS, about 555 marks each for 20 marks. Either they will place it at question 2 or question 1. But like I said, this trip, I'm only giving you the content, not the question numbers. IPSAS. IPSA 32. Uchumu time. IPSA 32. IPSA 17. PP. IPSA 12. IPSA 3. How many? I have to give you 5. The last one is IPSA 9 only. It's only 4 marks per. They'll ask you. IPSA 9 only the condition for recording sale of goods. So let me add it to the scene. IPSA 9. If IPSA 17 does not appear, intangible. 31. All right, so on that note, these are your IPSA 20 marks for yaya. So I have some questions here for us to try our hands on. So here, do not worry yourself about this stuff. I just place in there. Benefit of Ghana driving from public partnerships. They will make it like benefit Ghana drive from service concessions. Now, public-private partnership is under IPSA 32. It's an example of service concession. So that even though PPP is not on its own, we can hide under IPSA 32 and drop a full question on PPP. So this one like this. I could have just made it like state and explain 5 benefits government of Ghana can derive from service concession according to IPSA 32. That's all. Or maybe that is how the question will look like. So that is what you have to understand for us. First thing, operating and maintenance contracts. Rehabilitation, service concession, what's the meaning? Joint venture, all these issues, we can explain them. Oh, look at the question. Explain the following model of recognition of what? Liability under the service concession arrangement under IPSA 32. What are the conditions? All right, so that is that. You should know the financial liability model, grant of rights, operator model. Financial liability model, grant of rights, operator model, service concession, revenue, state and explanatory condition. All right, so basically that is all. That it's that 32 service concession. Grantor, that's been the government. Explain how revenue from non-exchange transaction are recognized for each type. What examples of non-revenue, asset recognized? All right, so basically, then IS 37, over here is IPSA 19. All right, so there's objective. IPSA 19 is also here for you. You try your hands on it. Then the borrowing cost is also here. IPSA 5. IPSA 31 talks about intangible assets. Whilst IS 38 talks about the same thing as IPSA. All right, so please take notice of that then. They also have goods. All right, so the last one is IPSA 12. Lower of cost and what? NOV, the rules still applies. All right, so the next show is how to do with your final exams, but please take notice of the inventory. The inventory today will give you one for sale, one for use. Inventory consumable, the inventory of fertilizer. All right, so that is that. These two events, which one do you choose the lower?
Sir, please, you take the current cost for inventory consumable
Mm-hmm. Not in the form of.
and with the,
Aye.
pardon? Sir, please, what did you say? Hello?
Mm-hmm. Come again. Inventory consumable and inventory
Sir,
for
please, I said
consumable is select the lower of.
inventory consumable. Current cost and historical cost. So the lower is current cost.
All right, so now that's all for your question 4. Standards. Your question 4 deal with IPSAS. Question 5 is on what? Budget. All right, so question 5 has to do with budget. If you know what goes to Ghana's annual budget, the fiscal year, budgets and budgetary control. So here to the question 5 and budget, public financial management. There's also iota of auditor general, value for money and stuff. They can ask you there too. All right, so we have to add it to the normal budget of the public sector and then shoot it. So that note, we are true. The PFM. PFM must do the public sector arrangement. So let me go to the question 5 and then show you what you have to do. These are your question 5 look alike. You get question on audit payment. Then the audit committee function. Audit committee function. And then the role they perform. All right, so any question for me? Yes, IPSA 3 is this one. IPSA 3. I wanted to add it to the top one, but I exhausted the marks. All right, so basically I'm done with the structure. So let us know. The next one we should clear from the way.
Okay.
Presentation. Imagine I'm doing goods and services.
Mhm.
Goods and services. I've written conferences and seminars. I've done. I've written workshop. I've done. Admin, rent. I've done. Now when I get to let's say office stationery.
Mhm.
Office stationery. Two things. Either you create two reporting currency, one here and say opening inventory so much, purchases so much, less closing inventory so much. You ship the answer here. We don't have a problem.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
We don't have a problem at all. We'll mark you 100%. No worry.
Okay.
Somebody can also decide that let me shift this one here. That is what Cassie is saying. That she will now bring this one here Bring this
Mhm.
one here and bring this one here, right?
Yes.
Well, once the figures are right, we are
So
obliged to do right, but
we also the answer here is out.
that's it.
Eh,
You only do this if they say
answer here.
2 minutes to stop work. Yeah, because you see,
Inventory, maybe.
the reason why we are not too happy, even though we'll not mark you down, but we'll not be happy with you. Yes. The reason is that inventory calculation, if you are doing profit and loss, do you do cost of sales on the face? But you do cost of
No.
somewhere and bring it, right?
Yes, please.
So all you do this week, the first approach I did, and then you are good to go. More questions before we run away. More questions. So please go and solve these questions. If you face any trouble, me now brought them. Come, I'll discuss them with you. All right, so any question? More question before I run away. More question.
Sir,
Uh-huh.
please, that single treasury account.
Yes, what is it, right?
Says, is it possible that it can come?
Everything is possible. I've forgotten that. Everything is possible.
But I didn't see it in your question. Oh.
So that means I might set question on everything in the syllabus.
No, that's why I'm asking.
What I believe that is due, for example, that's what I put inside of material. So if you also have a belief that it's coming, add it to it, solve it.
But I don't have a belief. I'm sticking with you.
If they have reviewed it, you go and solve it too.
So you said?
If they have reviewed it, you go and solve it too.
No. I'm doing into the future with you. Say.
Okay. So that is that. There are a lot of stuff in there. I'm talking about heritage assets. Heritage assets. What is the treatment of heritage assets? Discuss. Yes, under IPSA 17, heritage asset. What is heritage asset? It's under IPSA 17. Examples of heritage assets.
So is it not the natural resources Ghana possesses, like a country possesses?
Natural, these are the historical, anything that has historical value,
Okay.
like culture, traits, the museum park, the waterfalls, the forest belt, Kakum National Park, Willy Waterfalls, Mountain, Afajatu. There's a twin mountain to Afajatu. What's his name, Kra? I've not been there before, but we have got the information. Some Chinese view went there. And then they are trying to bring, is it turbine? Yes, they want to bring, yes. want to create wind energy. Through that, they develop electricity. They said there's some air that passes through that two mountains. That the pressure of that air is like stronger than even all the dwarfs in Ghana. When they are taking human beings away, the pressure they used to carry people away. So when Chinese people they saw it, they said they want to develop electricity from there. All right. So in that case, that one we don't no depreciation. We don't depreciate historic heritage assets because that one is not for use. We don't use them. If 17 is PP, an example of PP is heritage assets.
Certain things like this, see the PP IS16.
No, you see, IS16 is talking about private PP. This PP, okay. I've not given you a note on the EPSA 17 and 12. Let me see. I have a summary here. Summary. I have a summary, but not plenty stuff. The EPSAs that will come that are technical, that's the one I've done. Any EPSA that will come again, they are not technical. The only technical one is the EPSA 3. Accounting policy, and it's the same as the one you did in.
Even that one, you have the summary. The whole lecture.
Yes, EPSA 3, the summary is there. Good. EPSA 4 too is also there. Good. It's EPSA 17. I think I have the notes here. I just want to see their first question for today. Their first question for this two. EPSA 17 is here. Yeah, this is EPSA 17. This is it.
Okay.
This is EPSA 17.
Click on our page. No.
EPSA 17. Public sector. So PP, the objective is there, and let me check. Yeah, heritage asset. Yes, it's. They may ask you to. They might ask you to explain what heritage asset is about and the recognition criteria. Infrastructural asset and initial cost, element of cost. But that one is the same. Element of cost under IA16 is the same as element of cost under. The only difference has to do with the heritage assets. That make the difference. So that's why those stuff. Measurement model, everything is the same. Revaluation model, cost model, depreciation rate, basis, impairment. All of them are the same. So that is what heritage asset. Good. Now, heritage assets is not to be recognized. So we only disclose heritage assets. No depreciation, nothing, because heritage assets, we don't use them. So it's only a disclosure. Heritage assets are not supposed to be recognized, and then we are good to go. I think this is the disclosure requirement also. Take note, this is the disclosure. Let me go to the top. Yeah, disclosure. When it asks you disclosure, measurement basis, depreciation method, please. I don't know where you have to pass. After the paper, I'll say, do you see what I projected? Because it has happened. No. This one. Kindly just take a screenshot of it. That's the disclosure requirement for IPSA 17 PP. You have to disclose the measurement base, depreciation method, gross carrying amount, accumulated depreciation at the end of the period, then reconciliation. That's all. So these are the all right. So these are the stuff you should know. Recoverable amount, those steps are still the same. Infrastructure assets. All right, so that is IPSA 17 for you. IPSA 12 is on inventory. You can do it. IPSA 3, accounting policy, estimate, and then the errors. So what are accounting policies? What are the estimates? Change in accounting estimates. Yes. So, all right, one question. At this stage, I have to leave you for you to solve the questions and then you get back. Then I sit and receive them and deal with them. Now that the weather is clear, the areas are clear. PSA, if you try small, you blow the paper. If you try small, you blow the paper. Any question, suggestion, contribution? If you have room to, if you have capacity to, I can pick either the hospital question or the university 141 and solve them with you. Though when I pick, we'll finish around midnight. But no problem, we'll still do it. Yeah. Today, dear, all of us make we go. Everybody. Oh, be a bro. As I'm saying, starting, be a bro. The exams that we've not started, no. Monday will be on Monday. All right, so if that's the case, let me leave you for you to revise. Yes. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Yes, tomorrow is free. I'll meet you on Sunday down 4 a.m. up to 12 p.m. 4 a.m. to 12. For financial,
It's MPSC.
no, for financial reporting.
Pardon?
Yes, I'll meet you on Wednesday. Yes, I'll meet you on Wednesday. Then which one again? Wednesday, which paper do you have on Wednesday?
I have
Okay, Wednesday paper is what? What paper are they writing on Wednesday? This which paper is on Wednesday morning? Level 2. Principles of tax or audit. And so Wednesday we can meet in the morning because most of you won't have paper. Most of you won't have paper.
I have
There.
Yes.
Please, I'm talking about FR. You said that you meet us again this Saturday.
No, not Saturday, Sunday. Or that's a Saturday.
Yes, you said that we have to do I think one of them, either the final account before.
Okay, that
Because
one
on
should be,
Sunday it will be too much, it will be pressure on us.
okay, I'll do it in the
Pardon?
I'll do in the afternoon for me. Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Okay. Saturday afternoon should be fine. But I'm talking as if Saturday is like next week or tomorrow is Saturday. So look at it. All right, so quick one, 5 to 10 minutes. Let me just use to discuss how the hospital question will be solved. The hospital financial statement is similar, the same as the local governance. So that's the district assembly or municipal. And then you are good to go. First, read the question and demarcate it so well. That's the first thing. Prepare in compliance with ICAG and relevant legislation. Statement of financial performance. Statement of financial position. Note to the account. All right, so right after doing your demarcations, you go to your footnote. Very important. Note 1. All your note 1 will say that the entity applies to they comply with ICAG and then the Public Financial Management Act and a whole lot of acts. Don't bother yourself. Note 1 has no effect on your calculation. Note 2. Note 1, you don't need to do anything about it. They're just trying to tell that they are using accrual basis and their accounts are prepared based on ICAG and local legislations. So, Note 2, the hospital purchased equipment at a cost of 200 on 1st April 2020. So that's the additional equipment. So you add it to additional equipment. 2 entries. Once it's in the footnote, it means it has not been captured in the trial balance above. So 2 entry, when hospital buy equipment, what are the 2 entries involved? Number 1, after adding to equipment, what do? You subtract.
Goods and services.
Are we safe? Me crash me. Me crash me. Cassie, Thursday is not far from us. You see, and I understand why the exam now. Let me show you some notes here. Cassie, what you said is here. Yes, it. Cassie, what you just said is here. They bought equipment in 2019 and they recorded it where? Goods and services as an error. So if you buy equipment, you won't add it to goods and services. Instead, where will it go? After adding.
Is it non-current asset?
Come again.
Please, is it non-current asset like in the statements of financial position?
Okay, let me open. Let me use this. I'm coming on. Let me do this. Yes, once you are adding to equipment, automatically hits your non-current assets. That's one leg. There's another leg again. Where would that leg go? Guess I'm still reflecting on your answer.
I'm sure you calculate for depreciation and then it will be added to, is it consumption of fixed assets?
Okay, automatically any asset that add up to PPE automatically suffer depreciation. There's still one leg again.
Cash or bank?
Cash and bank. Because they've purchased equipment and they've not recorded it. So to affect your cash and bank, so you subtract from cash and bank figure. And then you add it to equipment and then you are good to go. So once the mentioned equipment they didn't specify, add it to the equipment they have there. So if they have about 3 different kinds of equipment, put all of them together in one logo line, then you are good to go. Let me use a different app to open this so that I can write on it. Good, it has come. So take notice of that particular footnote. Let me use this app. This app, I can write freely. Okay, so we are here. We said that the notes, this one will affect 2 things, cash and cash equivalent. And then you add it to equipment, and depreciation will be a new equipment value 100,000 was donated with if it will be a district assembly, a municipal question, it will be a vehicle. You see, if you go and the question, the examiner don't bring hospital and they bring municipal or a metropolitan or a district assembly, Aguna East District, a Sojaman District, it will be a vehicle. They'll cancel this one and you write vehicle. They say note now, we will not change anything. A new vehicle valuing 100,000 was donated by the chiefs. They say the chief donated to the district, to the assembly. What's the treatment? When you receive a donated, thank God, Pa, that I'm answering this question, Pa, because I thought I've come across it too. When you see a donation, where does it go? Donated assets. 2 entries. Tell us. Entry number 1. This 100,000. Entry number 1. They say they've not yet recorded. Entry number 1.
To be added to the equipment.
Added to equipment.
Under the non-current assets.
Good, non-current assets and depreciation will be affected. No problem. Entry number 2. You add it to your revenue under grant or donation. Grant and donation, you add it because you didn't buy it yourself. So any donation asset, it's a revenue at the same time an asset. Agreed. Kasi, are you there? Kasi, I hope you are not dozing off. Because by the time you wake up, you are done. Note 4. Your depreciation, you divide by 10 years, you get 10,000, and then you accordingly work on depreciation. I learned I've not worked a full PP before with you. If you are fortunate, I'll come and solve this question fully. So let me go through, and then for you to work it out, bring it back. If there's a problem, we solve. Note 4, the fixed deposit attract an interest of 15% per annum. So 2 entries. First, multiply the 15% by the fixed deposit in the trial balance. Fixed deposit, why? Sure, so fixed deposit is here, 100,000. Multiply by 15%, you get 15,000. So interest income, what are the 2 entries? Interest income, 2 entries, 2 entries, 2 entries. Number 1, you add it.
Is it public interest?
No, this one is an income, not an expenditure. This is an income, not an expense.
Oh, okay, then other revenue. Yes.
You add it to IGF. It's called investment income. And the IGF, the last item, and IGF, investment income. The second entry, because they have not received the money, add it to receivable. Second leg, add to receivable. We are done. Drugs of Drugs, inventory of drugs as of 31st December, amounting to 95,000 at cost, had a net realizable value of what? 100,000. Replacement cost is 78, 110. Please, drugs, is it for sale or is for use? Hospital drugs. Hospital drugs.
For sale and sometimes
Hospital drugs, is it for sale or for use? We beg.
For sale.
Okay, so it's for sale. So here you select what? Lower of what?
net realizable value.
Lower of cost and NRV. The cost is 95. NRV is 110. So which one do you pick? 95. Stationery of stock as at 31st December had a cost of 28. Replacement cost 25. NRV is 35. Which one do you choose? Replacement cost 25. And we've done inventory right down. So you are good to go. Agreed. That's the replacement. Redundancy pay outstanding as at the year end is 25 million. Redundancy pay. 2 entries is outstanding. 1, you add it to redundancy pay under compensation. 2, add it to payable. Please, any expenses they are owing, add it to payable. Any revenue that they've earned but they've not received it, add it to receivable. Don't go and show them on their own on the balance sheet. We don't do that. Anything that they are owing, it should go to where? Payable. Anything that they are yet to receive, go to where? Receivable. Provision for undertakings is estimated to be 10%. Go to undertakings is the receivable. In a hospital fraternity, their receivable is called undertaking. So go to the balance sheet. They say undertaking, you know you are, oh, the examiner is good though. He said undertaking and he said receivable. If the examiner want trouble, you could have just claimed the receivable here and just write undertaking. Better than it will. In a trial balance. The last item on the list. Obviously, the last item on the trial balance. You could have just claimed the receivable from there. So 30. First, calculate your provision is 10%. So 10% times 30 will give you what? Will give you 3,000. What's the entry? 2 entries. Number 1, add it to goods and services, an expense. Number 2, subtract it from the undertakings, the figure. From the 30. Yes, then you go to receivable. You see, this receivable you have here, you add all the other receivables to it. So we are done. Let's go to note 7. Hospital currently owes Hila Pharmaceuticals for drugs amounting to 1950 supplied to the hospital during 2020 2021, respectively.
But this one too, I think they will still use that 17.
Yes, you still have to go by the 7 expenses, compensation, use of goods and services. Yes, please. Yes, yes. Once it's a public sector, even GB, government business enterprise, if you go and meet GB, don't say that this is a GB, so I'm going to use a different format. No, the same format. Nah, we don't change it. So, in respect of this, the hospital currently owes Hila Pharmaceutical for drugs amounting to the supply to the hospital during the years 2020 and 2021. Here, the one we are owing is what? You have to add up to December 2020. January 2021, we've not gotten there. Oh. Have you gotten there?
No.
How can you tell me that I owe you next month and I should record it here? It will be a liability when I get there. So this one should be off. Add these 2 figures together. Then when you add them together, what do? They are liability. So 2 entries. 1, 2. Check on the trial balance if you see the 1950 on the trial balance. I will provide the marking scheme for this question to you. So I'll send it to you. It's not there, so it means that you have to only work on this. So add it to payable. Outstanding supplies. It should be part of the payables. This figure should be part of the payables. Next, oh, then we are done. Consumption of fixed assets. This one is the depreciation you calculate. Divide. All goes to consumption. Divide by this. This note, don't worry, we have solved this note before in class. In 2019, the hospital acquired 4 million equipment to boost government projects at the hospital. However, this transaction were not recognized in the account. Sorry. However, this transaction was recognized in the account as what? Kasi, as what?
As goods and services.
Is that right? That if you buy equipment, we should add equipment to goods and services?
Sir, please, no.
Okay. So then, this error has not been rectified. I think we have solved a similar one like this in class. It's also due for exams.
So, sir, please, the accounting treatment is that you go and subtract it from goods and services. Then now you do the right thing.
No, you cannot subtract from services. Will not agree.
Accumulated fund.
You have to subtract from accumulated fund because it was not this year's goods and services that they added it to. They added it to 2019.
Yes.
You have to hit it against the accumulated fund. They subtracted this. Once they treated as an expense, they've subtracted. So when you go, you have to add back.
And then chart the depreciation.
Then after adding back, when you add it there one leg, then you come and add it to equipment. That's the second leg. Then you come to the depreciation. Calculate last year's depreciation that they failed to calculate because they charged as an expense, they will not depreciate it. So after calculating the depreciation, it's an equipment. Equipment we divide by 20. So divide 4 million by 20. The answer you get 1. You go and then subtract it from the accumulated fund. 2, you come and subtract from the carrying amount. And that's all. You are done for that. Now let me just scan through the trial balance and see where all the items go. Then I leave you for it to go and put these pieces together. You see that the note look plenty, but there's nothing inside. Cash and cash equivalent, where will it go? Where will it go?
Balance sheets.
Good. Withholding tax, where will it go? Please add it to payable. Add it to what? It's an non-current liability. Outpatient. What is mean of outpatient? Who have worked at the hospital before? Outpatient, OPD. What's the meaning?
Revenue.
Good.
So it's, sir, please, is it IGF?
Yes, it should be part of the
Okay.
IGF. IGF, inpatients, also IGF, all these IGF, drugs and medication,
IGF,
drug purchases.
goods and hey, no,
Yes,
me, I will not
you're
see
right.
again.
It's goods and services. Even
Hey,
though
you say I'm correct.
you add these two together, minus the closing inventory in the footnotes, then that one goes to goods and services. Kasi the one that is correct, you don't add vim to it. But the one that is wrong down, you add vim to it. The one that you are right, this one you are right too, but we're saying it's more as if like, but the one that is not right, that one you vim the inside. Then add vim to all of them. Other service income, IGF. Ultrasound revenue,
IGF,
IGF. Laboratory service fee, IGF.
IGF,
Travel and transport,
goods and services,
seminar conference,
goods and services,
general clinic,
goods and services,
special consulting specialist,
goods and services,
clinical consumable,
goods and services,
contracted service expense.
goods and services. No, sir, please, employment. Yeah.
Contracted service expenses. Yeah, is it a contract staff? You have contracted someone.
No, sir, please, it's goods and services.
Established post salary.
Employment,
Established post salary. Casual labor.
employment,
Extra duty allowance.
so all allowances are employment too.
Is that so?
So that's what I think.
Okay, so foreign foreign DM allowance. Well, what will you place it?
Employment.
No, it's under goods and services.
Say per diem.
Yes, no, foreign per diem is under goods and services. Local per diem is under compensation.
Oh, okay.
We have some allowances is under goods and services. Some of them is also under compensation. Yes.
So,
All
sir,
right.
please, the extra duties under what?
Extra duty allowance, that compensation, casual labor compensation, other allowance compensation, stationary stock, all this one. You have the footnotes, so it's, you just have to sum them up. Sum this one up, then subtract the closing inventory. GOG subvention, line items on its own. It's a revenue, GOG subvention, that's the GOG transfer. The GOG transfer to the hospital. Repairs and maintenance. Goods and services, agreed. Surgical fee. IGF, eye care fee. Rent. Add it to you can add it to investment income store for under IGF. So just say IGF. Provision for undertakings, that's the opening balance. You compare to the closing balance. Yeah, undertaking we have 3,000 compared to 2007. That's increase. So only 300 per hits the goods and services, and 3,000 hits the undertaking itself.
Sir, please, the undertaking, where would it fall?
To go to goods and services, but you have to compare this open balance. This is what you have to do. Write the undertaking.
This one is a provision.
Yeah,
Provision for
yeah, this is a provision for undertaking. So,
It's a provision.
the open balance is 2,700. Leave a space and bring the closing balance here. The closing balance we had 3,000. Do you agree that we had 3,000? The difference is what?
300.
So this difference goes to goods and services as an expense, the 300. Whilst the undertaking was 30,000, you subtract the 3,000 from 30, you get 27. Then you add it to your receivable. That's all. From here coming, all of this, they are what? PPE.
Hey.
Fixed deposit is what? Non-current assets. NHIS claims receivable.
Current asset.
Good. So you add all the receivable together. You don't need to go and show this receivable, no. Loans and advances. Current assets. Sundry creditors. Payable. Add it.
Sir,
Yes, please.
please, the loans and advances that would come with staff loans and advances.
Can you
Sir,
come
please,
again?
can you hear me?
Can you come again?
I said that some of the loans and advances, it comes with staff.
Ambulance fees. Ambulance service fees.
IGF.
Okay, I'll take that. Dental fee and military fee.
Mortuary fee.
The last item, mortuary fee, all of them are IGF. Bank loans, non-current liability, interest, line item. All right, so basically that is all what you need to know and understand for us. How the note will be attacked. All right, so basically, investment income, IGF under other income, other expense line item, accumulated surplus is a credit side. That's a good balance. That is all. When you put them together, we are good to go. All right, so please, I'm expecting you to do this and share your answer with me so that we pick it from there. Thank you very much for coming. If you have any question, you can put it on my wall. I'll go through.